Welcome to the COMC Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. We're talking with our friends John and Lynn Ferrell from John Ferrell Real Estate. You guys have been here at the lake for quite a while. You got here in 1971, you got here in 1975, and then met and had a family and have had great business success over the years. So you've been here for quite a while. You've seen the changes. You've seen the people. So in this show, I thought it would kind of be fun to talk about some of the bigger names here at the lake over the years, people responsible for what the lake has turned into. And I'm supposing that there's a lot of names that people don't know that were very powerful, kind of quietly doing things behind the scenes too. So me being fairly new to the lake, two of the people that I've heard of were Lee Mace and Buford Foster, right? So were those guys as important to the lake's development as people think?
Well, I think especially Lee Mace.
Okay.
You know, with the Ozark Opry. And when I came here in the summer, the heat of the summer, the Ozark Opry was running 11 shows a week and taping a 30-minute TV show in Jeff City, live TV show.
Yeah.
And through that best part of the summer, I mean, he was sold out every night.
Yeah.
And it was just unreal, the numbers of people. And then in the off season, he went out and done road shows. And in his promoting Ozark Opry, he was promoting Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And people came here by the thousands, and they had tickets to the Ozark Opry.
Yeah.
And then in you know, when the schools used to do senior trips, which they all did in my, you know.
Back in that day, yeah.
Back in the dark ages.
Yeah, they still do, but it's to different parts of the world now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, school buses just took over the lake area, and I mean, they would be at the Ozark Opry.
Wow.
It was unreal, and so I think Lee was a huge promoter of Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, he definitely was. And here on Lake TV, we run some of Lee Mace's old travel logs where he would take a camera around and show different things. And these things would be played around the country, which would bring people to the Lake of the Ozarks, he was just a born promoter, wasn't he?
Oh, he was, yeah, and it was unreal. And then he was involved in the square dance team that, you know, danced at the Grand Ole Opry for years, and that was in the early 50s.
Yeah.
And we see that show on TV yet today.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fantastic. And it was a local square dance group, and, you know, and I think that's where Lee got a lot of his knowledge about doing the Ozark Opry and how to promote that, you know, and how to entertain crowds. And
Which he
people,
did. He definitely did.
They were entertained, and they were not entertained by national stars from the Grand Ole Opry. Mm-hmm. He took young people and entertained crowds.
Right. Turned them into entertainers.
And made them a star.
Yeah.
Every night.
He was amazing. It was kind of a shock to the community. He died pretty young, I think was it the 1980s in a plane crash or something like that,
so,
right?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of a shocking, sudden development.
Yeah.
Great loss.
It was a huge loss. Yeah. Huge loss to the lake area. You know, they brought Monty Davidson in after Lee passed away. They brought Monty Davidson in to MC the Ozark Opry for, I think, that year, the rest of that year.
Yeah.
And Monty, which is someone I had met when I came here, my first experience at the job was working at the Lodge of Four Seasons, and Monty was the entertainment director there.
Okay.
And we met, and he said, "Hey, come play drums," you know. And then I worked with Monty playing drums, and also my day job, worked in the bank, but for several years.
Right.
And
so Monty was one of these important
tremendous
people.
Entertainer.
Yeah.
Tremendous promoter from the Lodge of Four Seasons. And Harold Koppler owned the lodge, and he loved music and entertainment, and he done a tremendous job booking some great entertainment at the lodge.
Wow.
for the guests that stayed at the lodge.
So the lodge was very important, and Tantera, kind of the lodge and Tantera both kind of came in at the same time, right?
Tantera, which Lynn knew Burton Dinky, and Burton Dinky was like a father to me for several years. We got acquainted with him. I met him by way of the bank, and Tantera, Burton kept Tantera closed to the public. You had to have a room rented or own a home in the estates to come in on his property.
Wow.
To use his facilities. Well, at Tantera, he had some of the greatest entertainment ever he would bring in. I mean, 7 nights a week they had entertainment. And I just couldn't wait to get there, but I couldn't go even though I knew all the managers and, people and stuff. They had to have room for me.
Yeah.
If they were sold out, sorry, you can't get in, And Burton was a huge promoter of music, entertainment through Tantera.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. The lodge and Tantera, and they kind of became known all over the country, and a lot of it because of those promoters there. Right?
Oh, I think, Burton hosted the Regional Governors Conference in the late 60s, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then Hearns was governor. They were friends. He hosted a regional conference, and they liked it so well at Tantera, he had the national conference.
Really?
The National Governors Conference. That's how State Route KK became a state highway. It was blacktop, but prior to that, it was gravel road to Tantera. And in Lacey Fine came the Lacey Fine Airport and the state parks, the 6,500 foot airstrip. So all the jets, all the governors and the President of the United States could come in and for the national conference.
Isn't this amazing, these amazing stories of the lake? John Ferrell, Lynn Ferrell, we're going to continue talking with them, getting some great memories here from the lake area right after this. Central Ozarks Medical Center, voted Missouri's best and best at the lake, is recruiting team members due to growth. Amazing employment opportunities for both medical and non-medical positions with competitive salaries and outstanding perks. For more information, go to the Careers tab at centralozarks.org. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Join a leader. Join our team. COMC, where your health is our mission. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. We're talking some great lake history with John Ferrell and Lynn Ferrell. He doesn't let you talk very much, does he?
I'm going to say, why am I here? I did all the paperwork. That's why I'm here.
We'll just keep the camera on you because you're pretty, and we'll just keep on talking.
Really?
So we were just talking about Lee Mace and Tantera and the lodge and how huge they were in the development of the lake. And that's all over kind of on the Osage Beach side. How about over in Camdenton? Because they had a couple of big things going on too. Probably nothing bigger than that rodeo. What was it, the J-Bar H rodeo?
J-Bar H rodeo, right. Yeah, it was huge. And that really, I think its premier days was really maybe before I got here.
Really? Okay. And you got here in 71.
Yeah. That rodeo would run 10 days, 10, 12, 15 days.
That's all it was.
Rodeo in Campton would bring 15,000 people in.
Wow.
Per day.
Per day?
Yes.
Wow.
For that rodeo.
When I've seen some pictures, I mean, they got big stars here. Like the whole cast from Gunsmoke was here. And Rawhide, Clint Eastwood was here. And John Wayne, I think, was here. I mean, they were all here, right?
They were. They had huge entertainers.
Who was behind that? Who was the power behind the J-Bar H? Was it Buford Foster? Because he was a Camdenton guy, but I'm not sure it was him.
No, Nelson was the guy's name. I knew him. I got acquainted with him after I got here, but you know, I didn't have a lot of experience there.
Yeah.
Now it came back. There was a guy out of Texas, and I can't recall his name, but a guy came in and tried to re-up the J-Bar H rodeo.
Right.
And we were kind of involved in it then. Of course, I was with the bank, and we were kind of involved in helping cashier there and collect money and sell tickets and stuff. And it was really, really good, but it was nothing like what the original
Like in the
was.
heyday. Yeah. Right. And then since we're on that side of town, over there in Camdenton, the Nighthawk was a huge, like the whole community kind of revolved around that
Nighthawk, yeah.
place. Yeah, and that was Buford Foster.
Yeah,
right?
that was Buford's restaurant. Buford and Anna Mae Foster had the Nighthawk Cafe. They had Lake Park, which was an lakefront entertainment complex there by the bridge.
Niagara Bridge.
Niagara Bridge, just west of Camdenton.
Okay.
You know, which was a large, dock complex, and I think he had a roller rink, and he had entertainment, and had square dances there at his place and stuff. You know, and the Nighthawk in Camdenton was a gathering spot for people, coffee and lunch, and it was fantastic.
Well, and we were talking about Lee Mace and the square dancers and stuff that he did. Buford kind of did that same thing over in Camdenton, I think, because he went to Springfield for a show, I believe, with his square dancers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm not up to speed with a lot of that.
It's funny how separate the communities were back in the 70s, where what was happening over in the Osage Beach side was over there. What was happening over in the Camdenton side was over there. There wasn't as much commingling going on.
That's true.
Back then. Well, we're down to 2.5 minutes here in this show. Out of all of that, you guys started up a country music jamboree kind of a thing, kind of carrying on the tradition of all of this great music and promotion. What was the impetus? And again, we're down to a couple of minutes. Well, so quickly, what got that started? How did you decide to do that?
John and two other individuals started the Genuine Country Music Association.
Okay.
With the purpose of preserving and promoting traditional country music, which is very hard to go see or hear anybody perform that anymore.
Right.
So with that, they were also doing raising money and giving it away for different things. We did 2 or 3, but then the Classic Country Jamboree started with the assistance of my assistant, Diane, who is now in Kansas City, because I'm on State Fair Community College Foundation Board.
Right.
And we come back from a Christmas party, and she said, you know what? I think GCMA could put a jamboree on, and we give the money to State Fair Community College for scholarships for the local students at the Lake of the Ozarks. And that's how it started.
Interesting.
And it's grown tremendously. First year we raised $10,000. This last year we raised $45,000.
Wow.
So we're very...
Last year, 56.5.
Yes.
So that's some pretty phenomenal growth. Is that something you guys plan on continuing on forever?
Yeah.
Maybe handing over to the kids or something like that?
I don't think the kids are interested. It'd have to be somebody that...
It's such a fantastic thing. But we have such a great board of directors with our Genuine Country Music Association group. Our board is so active and work and help and promote and stuff that, makes it so much easier when you have people kicking in,
That makes all the difference.
And we immediately started an endowment fund with State Fair, and we have $150-some thousand in an endowment fund that's going to
for the local campus.
Okay.
should live on forever.
Right.
And we have donated over $100,000 to the Lake Ozarks Soccer Association, which benefits now around 1,000 young kids.
Wow.
That's involved in the soccer program through LOSA, Camdenton, Lynn Creek, Osage Beach, Versailles, Eldon. Our son Justin's president of that organization, and he's just got that fine-tuned. It's just fantastic to go out there. And then Wonderland Camp.
We started giving to them last year.
Some great
Tremendous organization.
We'll get more information on the Jamboree as we continue. We're doing a series of shows with the Ferrells. Great history at the lake. John Ferrell, Lynn Ferrell, thank you so much for joining us for Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.